Um, 10 first half turnovers kind of put you guys in a hole that was kind of hard to dig out. You played even pretty much the rest of the way.
Yeah.
How tough was that?
No, it is tough because the double-digit deficit in the first quarter. Now you're just fighting uphill the whole game. To your point, quarters 2, 3, and 4, we outscored them 92-88. So gave ourselves a chance, and we're able to kind of get it going in spurts. But just the start of the game, you find yourself down. It's tough, and then turnovers, obviously, some of them are controllable, but that was a huge key. 12 points for 21, 12 turnovers rather for 21 points. That's somewhat insurmountable, so you can't beat yourself, especially on the road.
Some of them were controllable, is that even more frustrating when, the sloppy ones that kind of just get a little bit away from them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's guys trying to play selfishly. It's just trying to make a play, maybe doing a little too much. But most of them are plays of aggression. So we have to try and minimize those. But, this team's very, very physical, very active, very handsy. So, going in, there's ball security is going to be, of the utmost importance.
It was, another slow start. KCP last night said we got to get rid of this lazy mentality. I think he called it early. From your perspective, where do you see the slow starts coming from?
It's a good question because we try to evaluate, is this something we're not doing, something that we're doing that's not working? And we've seen it work. Nothing has really changed about how we're trying to play. It's just, it's not in sync right now. So we got to find a way to kind of get our mojo back, playing with that energy and pace and early thrust that we want to see, hopefully while minimizing the turnovers, cleaning up some of the defensive mistakes, breakdowns, those areas that hurt you, obviously on the glass. I thought they were the more aggressive team. I know the numbers don't bear it out, but whether it was the second chance points or those 50-50 balls, a lot of those were timely plays when we're trying to make a run. Could never kind of get over that hump.
Just one last one for me. Those last 3 quarters, is that something you can build on? You finally get, Beal kind of Brad found his shot again. Daniel got back to the rim again. It seems like that was at least a foundation that you can say, okay, well, throughout that first quarter and got some good stuff happening.
Yeah, offensively, sure. The defensive side is, is still a bit concerning. We've been trending in the wrong direction in that area. So we got to find a way to clean that up, get back to how we play those first 10 to 12 games. Really, we're heavily reliant on our defense. I think at times, now that we're scoring a few points, we're kind of taking a back seat to that.
Josh.
Coach, your team attempted 15 threes, hit a high percentage. Was that a product of a concerted effort to get more thrust to the rim, a concerted effort discussed between these last 2 games?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think these last 2 teams in particular, they're very aggressive as far as, on any drive. So, that's going to be the only outlet you have, being aware of how teams are guarding you. And I think that's an important part of your game plan. It's not just the defense. And those are the type of shots you want to generate. The driving kicks, the paint threes, getting downhill, attacking, finding the open man, not only swing passes, but secondary drives. So once we get teams scrambling, I think that helps, elevate our shot quality.
As you and your coaches evaluate what you can do to avoid the first quarter deficits, will you consider a starting lineup change or a significant rotation order change?
Anything's on the table. I mean, we're not where we want to be. We haven't played well, so I can't sit here and say things are absolute, or we're going to specifically one thing or the other. We're going to take a hard look at it and see what we like and what we don't like, why things all of a sudden aren't working. So I don't know if it's more or less the lineup. Maybe it's just our approach, our purpose, and our energy. Maybe it's just a lack of concentration. Not sure.
As you make it, I recognize there are a bunch of factors. Are there any particular factors that will be weighed and considered as you try to evaluate that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to look at how we've played, how individuals have played, how the combinations have played. All those things are factors into why you would make a change. So it's not necessarily lineups. It could be, substitution patterns. Are we running guys too long? Not running certain combinations together long enough. I think we have to evaluate all those things.
Thank you.
Chase.
Hey Wes, so just what is the update on Davis at this point?
I don't know the medical term is. He had a little bit of an illness, stomach illness. So I'm not sure exactly to what extent, but he was not comfortable to continue to play.
And it looked like in the second half you had a lineup. It looked like Denny Avdia and Bradley Beal were the backcourt. Just why'd you kind of go to that group and what'd you like about it?
Obviously, ball handling, playmaking. We can get that with Aaron and Howell as well. Just gives us a little bit more size. So as we switch, hopefully it minimizes the impact teams can have on the offensive glass. It obviously didn't work, but that's the genesis of the idea.
Neil.
Hey, Coach, going off that, Denny had a couple of drives where once he finished himself, once he, dumped it off to Kuzma. What do you like about him being, somewhat that primary ball handler role, and where do you think he can still improve in that role?
Well, I think it's tough because he hasn't had a ton of reps being, in that spot. He's usually a secondary ball handler, second side pick and roll player. So learning the offense in that role, I think, is difficult on the fly, but we just have to keep a small package of plays where he can kind of get up to speed in that area, but it just gives you more flexibility. We've seen Kyle do that. To have Denny as another guy, I think once again allows Brad the freedom to play on and or off the ball. Gives you another guy who can play make on the floor, so at least you always have two ball handlers. But we'll see where it goes. I just like the fact he's capable of it and he's comfortable doing it. We just have to kind of figure out what's best way to use it.
Thanks, Coach. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Last question to Wayne.
How you doing, Coach? Pre-game, we just talked about the category of points in the paint. What makes it so difficult with Sabonis and Miles Turner down there that just causes teams trouble?
Well, the size, and it's not necessarily direct post-ups where he's just, throwing it into him possession after possession. He's obviously, really skilled player, but from a team-wide concept, they're cutting, they're aggressive drivers. Both of those two bigs are rim rollers. So they put a lot of pressure on you constantly. And if you're not in the right spot early, the hand activity to get deflections, they're just going to live in the paint. You couple that with the offensive rebounds, putbacks, it can really take its toll. Obviously, 64 points in the paint, rather, is not ideal. It's an area that it really hurt us tonight. It's something we have to clean up.
And lastly, Coach, you said it before, you're not going to feel sorry for yourself because of the schedule, back-to-backs. Were you happy with the effort, despite, the travel and everything that you said you got in late? Were you at least pleased with the effort from the team tonight?
Yeah, no, I vocalized that to the group. Obviously it's not the outcome we wanted, but I can't fault the effort. I thought we played hard, not always, with the right purpose. A lot of mistakes that we have to clean up, but I can't fault the effort at all. We competed. So I'm proud of those guys for being able to stick with it. We didn't quit. Obviously the score is not reflective of, really the length of the game, but very easy on the second night of back-to-back. He said, we don't have it tonight, but I'm happy that we continue to fight, stay in the game, and try to give ourselves a chance.
All right, thank you, Coach, and safe travels.
Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Well, went through a little bit today. It was feeling any different, or how are you feeling today, personally?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I feel okay. Obviously, besides the loss. Otherwise, I feel good. Body feels good. Mentally, feel good. We got some guys kind of getting sick the last few days, so Davis being out. But more or less, I feel good.
Anything different that got you back in the groove, or it's just, hey, that's going to come?
come. Just got to continue to build on it. But yeah, I found a little rhythm tonight. Hopefully I'll keep it going, but ultimately the only thing that matters is winning. So yeah, I found my rhythm, which is a step that in a positive direction, but at the same time, we're 2-8 in the last 10. So that's a step in the wrong direction. And we gotta figure it out. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for us, and the only thing that matters is winning.
Another slow start. Turnovers that first quarter kind of put you guys in a hole. You guys pretty much dead even or ahead the final 3 quarters. From your perspective, what's happening during these slow starts? I feel like we're talking about that a lot.
Like you said tonight, it was definitely turnovers. The last few games, it was just more or less our pace, our execution. I would say Toronto game, I would say we just didn't make shots early on. Tonight, we just turned the ball over way too much. When you turn the ball over, I think they got like 20 plus points off our turnovers. We're never going to win. It's always tough to, we're playing catch up in the first quarter. I think we had like 12 or 18 at night. Same thing last game. So it's just getting off to better starts. We got one that starts with defense. We get stops, we're out of transition. When we get easier looks for us, we're able to get our rhythm that way. Versus playing against set defenses all the time. So it's kind of twofold. We get stops, we get out in transition, we go. But on offense, we just gotta make shots. It's just it'll come. Just gotta keep shooting.
That's good for me. Appreciate you.
Josh.
Brad, to what degree do you feel like the team is just pressing a little bit on offense and making really a product of effort trying to make things happen?
Somewhat. I think every now and then we'll have a tendency to want to make a play as an individual, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes the results end up being bad. That's from everybody. I have my moments too, but it's from a good place because everybody wants to be impactful. Everybody wants to have some type of input on the game and put pressure on the other team. So, respectfully, we all when we do it, it's the right mindset, but we got to make sure we do it within the flow of the offense. We're not breaking off plays. We're not just coming down on 1-on-0 or one pass shots. Really get the ball moving, get bodies flowing, and take advantage of some things that we have on the floor and matchups that we have on the floor. And I think when we do that, we were able to get what we wanted. I think the stagnant possessions and the wasted possessions are what hurt us on top of the turnovers.
I think one of the phrases Coach just used with us was the team's got to get its mojo back. How does your team do that?
One, we got to get back to the joy of the game, and I think that was something I've been trying to find individually over the whole year. I would say, finding that joy, finding your juice, getting your rhythm back. And once you do that, you more or less take off. And I think we just hit a little adversity from early in the year, and now we have to figure out how do we climb out of that. And I love the fact we're in this position because this helps build our character. This helps build us up as a team. Moving forward down the line too. So, granted, we don't love being here, but I think it's necessary. It's definitely humbling us in a way that we need to figure out, how to be better as a team. If we really want to be this really good team, really great team, we got to figure out ways to win consistently. I think the way we were winning in the past wasn't sustainable, and it's showing now.
Thank you.
Chase.
Brad, in hindsight, how important was it for you guys to get off to such a good start this season as you now go through this stretch? And what does it do for you guys to know that you can play like that? It's the same group of players that won 10 of 13.
It's from a positive mindset. Like I don't hit the panic button, and I'm not hitting the panic button. I don't think anybody here is hitting the panic button. But there is a sense of urgency that needs to increase from everybody, just in terms of our approach, our effort. We each got to just give a little bit more effort. And we have the skill, we have the talent. That's never in question or a problem. It's can we take these challenges individually and as a team collectively? Can we fight through adversity collectively? And and it's still, like we always said, it's still a work in progress. You know, we are still chipping away. We're still figuring out a lot of things on the fly with little practice time. But at the same time, we're pros. We got to go out there and get the job done. So, you know, I don't love the position we're in, but it's necessary. Like I said before, you know, we're very humble. And the only thing we can do is pull ourselves out of this hole. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us.
And related to the turnovers, they had 10 blocks and 10 steals. It's quite a bit. Was there something you guys were doing that kind of played into their hands in that regard, or is just kind of tip your cap?
A little bit of both. We obviously we know Miles Turner was no more shot blocker coming into tonight. This is a team that's very active. You know, Carlisle's teams are always active defensively. And then they have the personnel that they want to get after you. You know, Karras gets after you, Malcolm gets into your skin. Everybody, you know, you got strong opponents down there. Then you got Turner kind of anchoring the back end. So they have a really, really solid defensive team, and it's just they were very active. They were physical, and stuff. I think sometimes we were indecisive on what we wanted to do at the last minute, whether shooting floaters, dumping off to bigs, throwing lobs to bigs, or kicking out for threes. You know, we gotta be more decisive. You know, granted, you know, guys are pros. You respect them. You know, they're very talented at what they do. But we gotta be better at being better in our decision making.
All right, that's all the time we got for Brad tonight. Appreciate you.
Obviously, you know, guys got in a little bit of a hole in the first quarter and pretty good from then on out, but hard to get out of that deficit. Just from your perspective, you know, where'd you guys kind of get out of control there? I know a lot of turnovers kind of say that.
Yeah, I think it started with the turnovers. I think Duarte got 2 turnovers and free layup. So those are the ones that we really got to cut right through one, right to Jeremy. I don't know if they scored out of it, but that's a possession that we didn't have to score. So just the turnovers, really. We just got to cut down the turnovers early and just try to take care of the ball.
They're just being a little bit sloppy with the ball, or
I mean, I feel like it's all in good thought, honestly. I wouldn't say we were sloppy. I felt like we played hard, but they just did a good job of being aggressive on defense.
And the nights when Spencer has to, you know, sit down, you know, it's an opportunity for you. How do you kind of approach that? How'd you think you felt? How'd you feel tonight in general?
I feel good. I know when he's obviously has to sit out, and I assume I'm going to start. So just look forward to those games. You know, you got to play big minutes, play starters minutes, and just get out there and be comfortable. Make the game easy for make the game easy for my teammates, and just try to play hard on the defensive end.
Easy for me.
Josh.
Aaron, how does this team get its mojo back?
I don't know. That's a great question. It's a long season. We obviously started off hot, hit a little losing streak as of late, but we just got to get back to how we played at the beginning of the season. Just moving the ball, getting stops on defense. I feel like our defense really held us down for a while, so we got to get back to really locking in on the defensive end, I think.
Tonight was turnovers, as you said, to create the first half deficit. Are there any kind of commonalities in some of these early deficits your team is facing that can be corrected?
I feel like it always can be corrected, whether that's just energy, taking care of the ball, playing defense. Those are correctable things. Those are things we can control. So, again, we just got to brush all these few losses off and get back to the drawing board and execute on defense and offense.
Thank you very much.
Neil.
Hey, Aaron, I'm curious how Spencer tries to help you, or, you know, just the team in general when he's, you know, sitting out, but maybe, you know, communicating things that he's seeing that, you know, maybe you guys can take advantage of.
For sure. We're always talking. Obviously, he's on the bench with us. Just telling me what he sees. I'm telling him what I see on the court, and just try to pick his brain that way. Obviously, he's a great player in this league, been here for a while. So that helps me. That helps me a lot, just coming to the bench and seeing the game better.
And how would you describe the team's overall, you know, mood and, you know, say confidence level?
I mean, personally, I know I'm confident. So
we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get through it. And I feel like as a team, we know how good we are. We know how good we can be. So knowing that, I feel like we're pretty confident going into our next game in Detroit.
Thanks, Aaron. Safe travels.
Appreciate it.
I think there's one more in-person question.
Aaron, how did it feel to be back playing against the franchise that you started your career with for a few years?
It was awesome. Obviously, I haven't been here since I got traded, but it was pretty cool seeing everybody, familiar faces, getting to talk to people and just catching up.
Did it mean any more to you to be back and against those guys that you played with for so long?
I mean, it was the same as playing them in DC. It was great to see them, obviously. I just spent the summer a little bit with them, so it was good to get out there and see them, obviously on a different team, but I enjoyed it.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you were able to see your brother here. Were you able to catch up with any family while in the city?
Yes, I was able to see my parents, my mother and father-in-law, and obviously I couldn't see Justin. So. Appreciate it.